All right, let's talk about something that affects almost everyone in Cambodia: fuel prices. Recently, the government said it's ready to step in with oil subsidies if global prices continue to rise because of the tensions in the Middle East.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. Fuel prices here are very sensitive to what happens internationally. Cambodia imports all of its oil, so when global crude prices go up, people here feel it pretty quickly, especially drivers, businesses, and anyone who relies on transportation.
Exactly. According to the Ministry of Commerce, the government is closely monitoring the international oil market. If prices go beyond a certain level, they're prepared to introduce subsidies to reduce the financial burden on citizens.
Right, and the concern right now is the escalating conflict in the Middle East. That region is one of the world's most important oil supply hubs. If the conflict disrupts shipping routes or oil production, global supply can tighten, and that pushes prices up everywhere.
One key route everyone is watching is the Strait of Hormuz. It's one of the busiest oil transport corridors in the world. Oil from countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iraq, Kuwait, and Iran passes through there.
So if that route gets disrupted, it can immediately affect the global oil market. Even countries far away from the conflict, like Cambodia, would feel the impact through higher fuel prices.
Pen Sovichet, the Secretary of State and spokesperson for the Ministry of Commerce, explained that if international fuel prices fluctuate, the domestic retail price calculation in Cambodia will also change.
And he also mentioned something interesting about the government's response plan. If international gasoline prices reach around $90 per barrel and diesel reaches about $100 per barrel, the government will start reducing retail fuel prices by about 1 cent per liter through subsidies.
That might sound small, but when you think about how many liters are used across the country every day, even a small reduction can help keep transportation and logistics costs under control.
Exactly, because when fuel prices rise, it doesn't just affect drivers. It affects the price of goods, food transportation, delivery services, and even electricity in some cases.
Let's talk about current prices for a moment. Right now in Cambodia, regular gasoline and diesel are selling for about 3,850 riel per liter.
And super gasoline is around 4,700 riel per liter. Those prices are still manageable compared to some periods in the past, but they could increase if global crude prices surge further.
The good news is that Cambodia currently has enough fuel supply for the market. Officials say the country has about a 1-month stock guarantee in case imports are disrupted.
That's an important buffer. It means even if there are short-term disruptions in international supply chains, the country still has some time to stabilize the situation.
Most of Cambodia's imports come from Singapore, which is the biggest supplier.
After that, the country also imports oil from Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, and a few other markets.
So overall, the message from the government is clear. They're watching the global situation closely and are prepared to intervene if necessary to protect consumers.
And for everyday people, that reassurance matters. Fuel prices influence so many parts of daily life, from commuting to the cost of goods at the market.
Of course, the big unknown is how the situation in the Middle East evolves. If tensions calm down, oil prices could stabilize.
But if the conflict escalates or key supply routes are affected, we could see more volatility in global energy markets.
For now, Cambodia seems to be preparing ahead of time, which could help soften the impact if prices spike.
And that's something businesses, drivers, and consumers across the country will definitely be keeping an eye on in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. Fuel prices may seem like just numbers at the pump, but behind them is a global story of geopolitics, supply chains, and government policy.
And we'll continue to watch how it unfolds. Follow Anchor Times for more stories.